This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Well, we've got Britney in the house, and I've never seen anybody so excited in my whole life.
I was jumping up and down.
I've had to hit her with a garden hose about twice to calm her down. Who have you got calling in?
Today's guest has one of the coolest resumes. Factory One team rider, X Games Enduro X silver medalist, 6-time North American Women's Trials champion, stunt performer. Listeners, if you're not driving, please just hop on Facebook or Instagram and check her out, because I want you to appreciate what she can get away with on two wheels. Please welcome Louise Forsley.
Hey, Louise. Woo! How you doing?
Hi. Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. This is a pretty cool opportunity. I appreciate it.
Oh, goodness. You should see this girl across from me.
You have to. Okay, listeners, Louise Forsley, look her up right now so you can appreciate what she gets away with on two wheels. It's so crazy. I was sending Dave, my crew, Brent. I've been sending everybody. I've posted, too, some of your videos. You're amazing.
So how long you been riding?
Since I was 7, and I'm 33 now, so for quite some time, yeah.
That's cool.
She started when she was fearless.
Well, she's still fearless.
I'm sure.
She just thinks more about it, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I think about it quite a bit, but I can't really let it stop me. I'm a little more calculated these days, and if something doesn't really feel right, I don't push it as much as I used to.
I understand.
You don't bounce as well as you did when you were 7, right?
No, you don't. And once you do start bouncing, it takes a lot longer to recover than when you were 7.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're talking from a guy in his what was I in my 70s?
70s, I believe.
I took a flat track motorcycle class and went down. So I totally get where you're coming from. So who got you going on this? Mom, dad, grandpa, aunts, uncles? Who got you into this?
It was all my dad. He was a motorcycle enthusiast, and he got into trials. Like, he'd always been into motorcycles, but I think it was in 99, got into trials, and then basically bought me a trials bike as well. And then I kind of, I wasn't really into school sports or school in general, or I didn't have a whole lot of direction. But once I started riding, I got very passionate about it, and just wanted to ride all the time and put all of my energy into it. And so that's kind of, and my dad just basically supported me the whole time, and he was excited that I was riding and that I did have a natural talent for it. So he really, supported me and pushed me, and brought me to train with different people, and kind of really just guided me along the way so I could try to get as good as I could possibly get within my teenage years.
Yeah. So for people out there that are scratching their head, what is a trials motorcycle? What makes that bike and that actual race different than, let's say, motocross, supercross, or arena cross?
Well, so it's a very slow sport. A trials bike doesn't have a seat, and the bikes are made to go over obstacles. So you're basically standing on the bike the entire time, and you're navigating your way through different sections. And it's kind of like golf. The lowest score is the winner of the competition. So basically you don't want to make any mistakes, whether it's putting your foot down or crashing or rolling backwards or going out of bounds.
Yeah. So and you've got to have a lot of upper body strength, because you're pulling the fork and the front tire, up on a tire or a rock or a log or a stump. I mean, so it's not like you have to be in really, really good shape.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I work out quite a bit for this. Yeah, it's kind of like upper body strength, but also a lot of leg strength because you're standing the whole explosive movements. So it does, like, I just happen to CrossFit because I like that kind of workout. And then I also do like a lot of endurance training too, because our competitions and also races get to be very long. So the stronger, the better for sure.
Where is the gas tank?
It is.
You know what I mean? Because there's no gas tank on that bike.
Sitting down, yeah.
It's tiny, yeah, but it's kind of in the front where your knees would be.
Okay, I when she told me you were calling in, I go, oh, that's the first question I got to ask, because I loved trials riding, because to me, trials riding is such a finessed sport.
It is a finesse.
Have you ever tried it? Have you ever done it?
Not on purpose. My dad did it a little bit as well. That's my big influence, as well as my father. And he did a little bit of trials. I think I went and watched him. And I actually saw Louise was on a mountain bike. She does that as well. That's where I excelled on my mountain bike over difficult stuff. Yeah.
Which do you like the better, the trials bike or the mountain bike?
Right now, I'm really into mountain biking. I think, honestly, I spent so much time riding trials when I was younger that...
You're done.
Not that I'm done. It just takes a lot of focus. And I've kind of like, not that I've lost that, but I really enjoy just like getting on my mountain bike and going out and pedaling. And you can kind of just hammer away, and it's more mind. You can get lost in like your own thoughts or just like the suffering in it too, because it gets kind of brutal depending on what you're doing, you know, if it's a long climb or whatever. And it's also like less maintenance than working on
yes. I understand that, because I race a car right now, and my crew chief, aka father, he keeps pushing me back towards motorcycles, which is less maintenance.
Sure.
And then from motorcycles to mountain bikes, much less maintenance.
So I'm curious, and I'm really surprised about the fact that this sport doesn't get the notoriety that other motorcycle sports get. Do you have any idea why that would be? Because I think it's very entertaining.
Probably harder to go out and see.
Well, not on TV. Even if it was just on TV, I mean, it seems to me like...
Well, isn't that what endurocross is? More like the
TV? But I mean trials, and trials has been around...
Long time.
Long as I've been around. I mean, it's one of the... I mean, they were doing trials riding way back when, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's been around for a really long time. And in Europe, it's extremely popular.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
But over here, it's kind of just a small sport, and it's kind of hard to gain traction with it. I don't know if people find it kind of boring. It's not exciting because it's not an actual race, because that's where, like endurocross, motocross, supercross, that is like very exciting for people to, you know, get into an arena, sit down, and then they can watch all that. I
challenge anybody.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody. In fact, I challenge any motocross, supercross. I challenge them to climb on a
boulder. There's a perfectly good trail. Why'd you go over the boulder? Because I can.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm just saying, and it's going to take somebody, a promoter that, you know, maybe comes from Europe and brings it with them. I don't know. I personally think it takes a lot more finesse, because, you know, when you're motocrossing, I mean, you can make mistakes and still survive it. You're not going to make a mistake on a trials bike, because if you make the wrong mistake, you're down. No, you're down, and
she posts those as well. She posts her oopsies.
Yeah, well, and that's what you should. Hey,
do we get to keep her?
Can we keep you for another 15?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yay.
Sweet.
I want to know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Upcoming.
Well, I'm going to let Britney talk, because she's been raising her hand like a 3-year-old in the back room.
Lots of questions.
That's how she asks questions. So we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Okay, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, Dirt Dude was nice enough to say, hey, keep Louise on. It's great.
And
what else?
Tell her that has amazing balance on two wheels. Dirt Dude is our...
he's our announcer at our local racetrack.
Yes, and he appreciates your talent. Yeah. He texted us during your last segment.
So I have to ask a question. I just went to your Facebook page. What kind of dog do you have?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, so I actually don't own a dog. I have lots of friends that have dogs, which is really nice because honestly, with my schedule, I travel so much.
Yeah. Well, my wife has dachshunds, and it looks like you're curled up with a cute little dachshund on a blanket. So I was just going to give you a call and say hi.
Yes, she's so sweet. That's Frankie, and she's one of my best friend's dogs. So I'm lucky that I get to
that's
have
excellent.
some time with her, but then also just not have to walk her and pick up her poop,
they are a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I know. I didn't ask enough questions when I married my wife. We got Rottweilers and Dachshunds, and that's all I'm going to say.
And can you throw out a number of how many now?
No, because the SPCA may come after us for having dogs.
You take great care of them.
Oh, she takes better care of them than me, but that's another story. So, all right, you had some questions.
Oh, where do I start? Well, one that just came in from my dad, who's listening. He's actually the one that put you on my radar. He's a fan as well. He wrote, Romaniacs is trials riders on enduro bikes. Are you familiar with the Romaniacs? And if so, would you consider racing it?
Yes, I'm very familiar with it. I have been following it for the last few years, and a lot of people have been telling me that I should do it. I think it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I haven't. I just haven't planned it out because my schedule here in the U.S. is pretty busy. So I just haven't really taken the time to commit to it right now. But
Louise,
yes, I would definitely.
No.
What do you mean no? I think it's great.
No.
One of my questions was going to be what's on your bucket list, and I'm so glad to hear Romaniacs.
I've watched Romaniacs.
She can handle it. Do you see the boulders she goes over?
I don't care. When she goes up the side of the hill and then she's stuck in all those roots.
She can handle it.
And those tree trunks.
You haven't looked at her Facebook page enough. You'll see she can handle this. You go, girl, and let us know before and after so we can hear all about it.
I didn't say she couldn't handle it, but man.
It's a commitment. 5 days, I
don't see you going.
I don't have her talent.
Oh.
It's definitely signing up for just a torture test for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, I race, hard enduro so much that every time I'm in it, it really pushes your body so much that you get to some dark places where you're like, am I ever going to get out of this? Is the bike ever going to not be on top of me?
Right.
Is my body going to survive? Am I going to have enough energy for another 5 hours or whatever?
Well, yeah,
so
it pushes.
I can't imagine.
And then when you're done, you say, that's it. I'm never doing this again.
Until a week later.
And then about a week later, you can walk again and you can sleep all night.
Well, you say it pushes the body, but I'm sure it pushes the mind just as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mentally, it can definitely break you, but that's where you just kind of have to remind yourself that you just got to keep pushing and that it'll eventually be over and you'll cross that finish line. You'll be just that feeling of, once you do finish the race, it's a feeling like no other.
It makes you stronger, right?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I mean, I'm sure that's where that slogan came from.
From the Romaniacs?
Yeah. But we have actually had the opportunity to interview Roman, the originator of, he is the greatest interview.
He's hilarious.
In fact, we're going to try to have a Romaniac party, whenever Fox Sports or whoever puts it on TV, because until you've seen it, that is insane. Yeah. Where are you based at?
In Marietta, California.
Oh, so you?
Yeah, I asked if she wanted to come down, and she said it'd be easier to call, and maybe it's better that way because I don't want to fan out on you. So,
well, that's true too.
So maybe the next time I'll be.
Yeah, maybe next time. Sure. Get you to come down, just come down for a Sunday and
a whole weekend,
Yeah, and then you and Britney can go get lunch afterwards.
I don't want to scare her away, but she can bring one of her friends.
You're such a fan. I had no idea.
I'm not the only one. There are what you do is incredible. What is your 2022 season looking like? You got anything?
I raced Yep, the Hard Enduro Series again, and I'm going to do a couple trials events as well. There's the California Invitational that is held at the KTM headquarters, so I'll do that, and then I'll do Enduro Cross as well. And that kind of keeps me going spring, summer, and fall, and then I get some downtime after that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you ride at KTM?
Yes, there's a trials event there. They brought in they have like an enduro cross track there and a supercross track. And now that KTM has bought Gas, they also put in like a trials area.
Okay, cool.
And that's where they go.
And before we get too more deep into this segment, who are some of your sponsors? Because every racer, I don't care if you're 6 years old or you're 106 years old, I always make sure you mention who gets you there, who is your sponsor. That way you can send this interview to them and say, see, I talked about you.
Yes, absolutely. So right now I race for Sherco USA, which I feel extremely fortunate that I have this ride and this opportunity that I do. And I have been with them since I was like 15. They gave me a trial sponsorship when I was younger for many years, and they've helped me out with so much. So to be able to continue this with dirt bikes and the trials bikes, it's probably been like 17 years now. It's been really awesome. But so we also have a bunch of team sponsors, FXR, I have Shoei helmets, Garnet boots. We have the Ride Shop that does our suspension, Motul oils. We have a whole line of them that keep us going this year. But Sherco USA definitely takes care of me. That's for sure.
Well, before we go a little bit farther, I also do local television here in San Diego. And if you would ever like to bring one of your bikes down, it's the #1 watch morning show. The viewership is off the charts. You can invite as many of your advertisers to come down and just be in the backdrop. Bring your bike down. Give me a little B-roll. Happy to do it. Doesn't cost a dime. And it's something you could put in your portfolio. And like I said, your sponsors will be over the moon if you do that.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome. Okay.
All right. I'll have Brittany give you all my contact info. All right, back to your questions, Brittany.
Oh, well, I was wondering where we would find the schedule of where you race. It sounds like a fun road trip. Where's that posted?
Yeah. So I think it's the U.S. Extreme Enduro Series. That's what it's called, or the AMA Extreme Enduro Series.
Oh, okay, the AMA. Okay.
Yeah. They have a West Coast and then they have an East Coast, and it kind of goes back and forth. So I'll be all over the U.S. But our first one that kicks off is in Page, Arizona, and that is March 26th.
All right.
That's an easy road trip because my crew chief is just bombarding me with, is she going to do the Tennessee Knockout? Is she doing the Ridgecrest in April? Either of those?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh!
So the Ridgecrest race was canceled recently, but I will be at the Tennessee Knockout. I'm trying to think there's going to be one in Norden, California. I don't know exactly where that is, but that'll be somewhat close, I guess.
Somewhat close.
What else? I think we might have one in Donner, California again this year. We had one last year.
Close is only relative in racing.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no limit. So, have you ever wanted to get 2 more wheels underneath you?
I was thinking that. Consider 4 wheels.
Yeah, have you ever considered?
Great minds did.
I mean, no offense, but
with
you're,
age
you're
comes
33.
age.
Maybe next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Yes, I do think about that quite a bit. So I am trying to get into the stunt industry. I've gotten some jobs, and I used to work on Marvel Universe Live, and that was a traveling stunt show. I actually did that for 5 years, and I was hired because of my motorcycle skills.
Sure.
But while I was on that tour, I learned a lot of other stunt maneuvers, and I basically learned about what the stunt world is and the stunt industry. And so once I got off of that traveling tour, my goals were to get into more film and commercial type stunts. But the racing thing kind of popped up again for me. I have done a few stunt jobs here and there, but anyways, yes, that totally makes me want to learn to do more driving, precision driving, drifting. Do a little more, get more experience with four wheels. I just haven't. I've been really busy with racing.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of
your super fan here happens to have a dwarf car, which runs what kind of engine?
GSXR 1000.
And it's on a dirt track. And I'm sure if you worked it out and came down either on a Friday practice or a Saturday, I am sure she'll slip you behind the wheel.
If you look up the Verona Speedway schedule,
it'll show you dwarf cars.
It'll show you the scheduled races, and we usually have Friday practices the day before a race. So we could meet at the track. How tall are you?
5'7".
Yeah, you could squish in my car.
Oh, yeah, you can squish in her car.
Okay. How tall are you?
As I tell my students, I'm tall enough, but we'll say 5'3". But you could still fit in my car, no problem.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
My mom's 5'7". She fits in it. And
it's power steering, which you'll love. And the only thing I'm going to tell you, be careful.
David?
You will get the bug.
Yeah, that's very true.
What do you mean, David? I'm just saying, you know how that is.
Yes.
Especially somebody like her.
Yes.
That sounds like she has an adrenaline need.
The mixture of hold my beer and calculated risk. Yeah.
Louise, I wish we could have done this for another 2 more segments, but unfortunately.
Well, we have some other people that are great calling in.
Yeah, I know we do too, but it was very much fun talking to you. You've got the contact with Britney. Mm-hmm. She'll give you my email address. We'll look at your schedule, my schedule, and see what we can do about getting you on TV. And we'd love to follow you throughout the season, after a race. And we also can do midweek interviews as well if Sundays you're traveling or even racing. So our end is very, very flexible, and it's been an absolute joy. If people do want to follow you around, how do they go about it?
I'm usually on Instagram quite a bit, so it's just Louise Forsley 77. That's the best way to follow me, and I really appreciate you guys having me on here. It was a fun interview to do.
Are you kidding? This girl's so gooey over here right now. I'm going to have to hit her with water.
You're going to scare her. What you can do is amazing. That's all.
That's it.
That's
what this show's all about. We talk to racers that are 7 years old and all the way up. We love to give people opportunities to tell them what they do. It just makes doing it even that much more fun. Yeah. Thanks, kid.
Thanks
Good talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Why? Because this is Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.